President Milei's harsh words for the President of Colombia lead to a diplomatic incident. While at home, the government sets about removing the legacies of earlier administrations. Welcome to A Bloke in Buenos Aires, presenting news and views in English from the capital of Argentina. Please feel free to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. There's a lot more to being a president than just economics. And while Milei's policies in that field may be sound, although that still remains to be seen, his skills with politics and diplomacy still leave a lot to be desired. This week the president has been hurling insults at President Gustavo Petro of Colombia. Milei called Petro a terrorist assassin, referring to the left-wing president's former membership of a revolutionary group in Colombia. But that was more than 30 years ago, and there's no evidence to suggest that the young Gustavo Petro was involved in any murders. As can be imagined, Milei's words have caused a bit of a diplomatic spat between the usually amicable Argentina and Colombia and the withdrawal of some diplomats. Argentine Foreign Minister Diana Mondino is doing her best to patch things up, but without actually offering an apology. This isn't the first time Milei and Petro have clashed in this way. During his election campaign, Milei referred to the Colombian president as human excrement. On top of this, in an interview this week, Milei called the president of Mexico an ignoramus. President Milei's famous fiery temper is one of his many personality quirks that have endeared him to his younger followers. Shooting from the hip this way with unguarded opinions might have been forgivable while still a campaigning candidate, but it's not really the behaviour becoming of a president who wishes to be taken seriously by the international community. Among previous candidates for receipt of a blow from Milei's sharp tongue have been Pope Francis and President Lula of Brazil, the latter of whom has been far from forgiving. The intense hatred and disgust that President Milei has towards socialism and its followers is well documented. But in the real world, there are plenty of global leaders who follow some kind of socialist principles, and whom Milei, like it or not, will have to do business with on some level. A true patriot puts their personal views aside in favour of what's best for the country. A few lessons in diplomacy for the president might be good for Milei and Argentina. While trading insults with neighbouring presidents is probably unwise at best, back home President Milei has a more free hand to go after the much-hated socialism, everything it represents and all its symbols. In an announcement last week, the presidential spokesperson said that the prestigious Centro Cultural Néstor Kirchner would be renamed. Housed in the once abandoned Central Post Office building, the project was completed at great expense during the government of Cristina Kirchner and named in honour of her late husband. The new name for the cultural centre has yet to be announced. The giant Ministry of Health building is the only building that was not demolished to make way for the iconic 9 de Julio Avenue, which cuts through the centre of Buenos Aires. The building is adorned on each side by two huge pictures of Eva Perón. These images were put there in 2011 by, again, the government of Cristina Kirchner. The pictures have themselves become quite iconic, and just about every tourist who visits Buenos Aires will take a photo. But these two are to feel the bite of the chainsaw. What, if anything, will replace the images of Evita remains to be announced. I have to say that renaming buildings and tearing down familiar city icons seems nothing more than petty and spiteful, and will only serve to poke at the left, which is possibly what it's intended to do. Every news report has some kind of bias, and it's often frustratingly difficult to get a balanced view. Ground News is a website and app that gathers all the world's media in one place so you can compare coverage. Ground News lets you see the story behind the story, using data-driven analysis that looks at things like the political bias, reliability and ownership of news outlets. To get a 40% discount off a subscription to Ground News, click on the link in the description below. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a like and subscribe to see more similar content. And if you want to support the channel, you can buy me a coffee in the link below. And until next time, que tengas un buen día.